I'm 5.5 years out of rehab now. No desire to go back to gaming at all. Not that the cravings don't come by from time to time, but my life is so infinitely better now that it's not worth it. And I never would have been able to get here if I hadn't had the help of someone to guide me.
Where do you think you would be?
Oh, I'd be dead. 100% I would have gone through with my suicide plan.
In recent years, a cultural phenomenon has emerged that has captured the attention of sociologists, psychologists, and the general public alike: the rise of the Lost Boys. This term, borrowed from the fictional characters in J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, refers to a growing cohort of young men who seem adrift, lacking direction, and struggling to find their place in a rapidly changing world. This video essay explores the factors contributing to this crisis of modern masculinity, its implications, and potential solutions. To adequately address the Lost Boys phenomenon, we are required to define it. This term describes young men who seem stuck in a state of perpetual adolescence, unable to navigate the transition to responsible adulthood. One of the most defining aspects of the Lost Boys phenomenon is the pervasive void of purpose that appears to characterize these young men's experience. This void is not just a lack of direction or goals, but it appears to be a deeper existential crisis where young men struggle to find meaning and value in their lives. This absence of purpose often develops into feelings of emptiness and frustration, which can in turn contribute to a range of negative outcomes such as mental health issues, substance abuse, and in the worst cases, even violent behavior. The modern world, with all its technological advancements, has unfortunately created a series of negative effects. The normalization of instant gratification that has come about due to the surging popularity of social media has successfully eroded the desire within young men to strive for self-improvement and societal contribution. The widespread accessibility of technology and subsequent proliferation of consumer culture has resulted in the creation of subcultures that view immediate rewards with minimal effort as not just the norm, but something they're entitled to. It could be argued that this phenomenon is an unavoidable consequence of social media and in the rise of on-demand services, which cater to immediate desires without the need for patience or hard work. The constant availability of instant rewards has had a directly negative impact on the intrinsic motivation to pursue long-term goals. Young men, bombarded with quick fixes, are unaware of the inherent difficulties involved in pursuing a life worth living, and struggle to develop the resilience and determination needed to achieve any meaningful personal or professional accomplishments. The shift in kids' social behaviors in the US toward more online interaction can be traced back all the way to the early 2000s, though it became especially pronounced around 2007 to 2010. This shift, as we've seen, has seemed to have greatly undermined the traditional values of social interaction, hard work, and delayed gratification. As the habits amongst young men have become more antisocial and interpersonal relationships have dwindled, we've seen the emergence of a culture of escapism. The intention of this appears to be to replicate the sense of pursuit found in real adventure, but without any of the real-world risk. The immersive nature of video games and social media has been designed to provide a simulated environment where individuals can experience progression and mastery. However, these virtual accomplishments often don't translate to any tangible skills or achievements. For many young men, video games, social media, and internet pornography have become a substitute for real-life challenges. The gratification derived from completing levels, earning rewards, and advancing in these virtual worlds creates a false sense of achievement. This illusion of success often deters young men from engaging in activities that require genuine effort, such as social interaction, pursuing education, or physical training. At the same time, excessive technological immersion has also been proven to contribute to a cycle of further disengagement from real-world responsibilities. The rise of the internet has played a significant role in the pacification of young men, resulting in a culture where effort is perceived as unnecessary. The internet provides a wealth of information, entertainment, and social interaction at one's fingertips, reducing the need for proactive engagement and initiative. This constant access to digital content results in passive consumption rather than active participation, greatly diminishing the mental and physical health of individuals and establishing a broader zeitgeist of passivity and complacency. Arguably, the worst effect of the internet has been the fostering of a toxic sense of entitlement among young men. Online algorithms that prioritize virality over substance often promote the idea that success and recognition can be easily attained without hard work. Influencers and viral sensations appear to achieve fame and fortune overnight, perpetuating the belief that effort is not a prerequisite for success. This massively distorted perception is very dangerous and leads to unrealistic expectations and a reduced work ethic, as young men become disillusioned when they do not achieve instant results in their personal or professional lives. The culture of entitlement extends to relationships as well. The convenience of online pornography, dating apps, and social media interactions creates the impression that romantic and platonic relationships should be effortless. However, meaningful relationships require time, effort, and emotional investment to develop and maintain. The resulting frustration, resentment, and sense of isolation are symptomatic of this fundamental lack of understanding of these dynamics. According to data from the US Census Bureau, approximately 1 in 4 children live without a biological step or adoptive father in the home. It has been scientifically proven that the absence of a paternal figure can have profound effects on a child's development, particularly for boys who lack a healthy male role model to emulate. The America First Policy Institute claims that children from single-parent families are twice as likely to suffer from mental health and behavioral problems as those living with married parents. That children with an actively engaged father perform much better in school, with some data showing that they are 33% less likely to repeat a class and 43% more likely to get A's in school. And most alarmingly, in a study of 56 school shootings, only 10 of the shooters were raised in a stable home with both biological parents. 82% grew up in either an unstable family environment or grew up without both biological parents together. Fathers are supposed to play a crucial role in the social, emotional, and psychological development of their children. They are meant to provide guidance, discipline, and a healthy model for what it means to be a man. Without this influence, young men often struggle to develop a healthy sense of identity. This usually results in young boys turning to peers or media for guidance, which can lead them down problematic paths if these sources offer bad or misguided portrayals of masculinity. The concept of masculinity as a whole has become increasingly vague and fragmented. Traditionally, masculinity was defined by clear roles and expectations, such as being a provider, protector, and leader. However, societal changes and evolving gender roles have blurred these definitions, leading to confusion. On the internet, the spectrum of definitions is broad and often contradictory. At one end, some advocate for a stoic disregard for emotions and a focus on material gain and achievement. On the other end, there are calls for self-sacrificial care and emotional vulnerability, emphasizing empathy and relational connection. The lack of a cohesive, balanced understanding of masculinity seems to leave young men unsure of how to navigate their identities. The absence of healthy role models does nothing but exacerbate the confusion surrounding modern masculinity. Many young men lack figures who can demonstrate what it looks like to be a good man. As a result, they often resort to learning through trial and error, which can lead to destructive behaviors and poor decision-making. The lack of mentorship and guidance means that these young men are left to figure things out on their own, often leaving trails of chaos in their wake as they learn from their mistakes, assuming that they learn at all. Even worse still, this void is frequently filled by online influencers and personalities who exploit young men's search for identity and purpose. Charlatans and master manipulators in online echo chambers offer simplistic, often toxic answers to complex questions about masculinity. These figures prey on the insecurities and vulnerabilities of young men, providing them with a sense of belonging and direction that can lead to harmful ideologies and behavior. These online echo chambers, where like-minded individuals reinforce each other's beliefs, can have a profound impact on young men seeking purpose. These communities often promote extreme views and foster a sense of victimhood and entitlement. Young men who feel marginalized may find a false sense of solace in these groups, offering them a distorted vision of identity and mission. Movements like the incels, also known as involuntary celibates, provide a community for young men who feel rejected by society, particularly by women. These groups often propagate misogynistic and violent ideologies, reinforcing negative behaviors and attitudes. The echo chamber effect amplifies these harmful beliefs, making it difficult for individuals to break free and adopt healthier perspectives. One of the most alarming manifestations of this is the prevalence of mass shootings in the United States, which are disproportionately perpetrated by young men. A study published in the Journal of Forensic Sciences found that nearly 90% of school shootings in the United States from 1999 to 2018 were carried out by male shooters. This stark disparity highlights a troubling trend and suggests that the issues underlying these violent incidents could be either directly or indirectly connected to contemporary understandings, or the lack thereof, of masculinity. The recurring pattern of young men engaging in antisocial behavior points to an issue potentially far deeper than individual pathology. It may be indicative of a broader societal failure. Among other things, society has not sufficiently equipped these young men with the awareness of their innate ability to construct meaningful lives. This failure manifests in various forms, all of which contribute to the crisis of modern masculinity. Due to the expansive nature of the Lost Boys phenomenon, it is incredibly difficult to prescribe a specific course of action for its potential resolution. At best, the individual with good intentions can point toward a few suggestions. Firstly, it is crucial for us to create societal structures that empower young men to be both individually successful and valuable contributors to society. The first step of this empowerment, we believe, should involve an emphasis on establishing firm foundations of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to understand, manage, and express one's emotions effectively. It also involves recognizing and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. The idea that an acknowledgement of emotion is a betrayal of masculinity is an incredibly harmful misconception that has resulted in breeding the kind of mindsets that have made young men prime targets for the manipulations of bad actors. By fostering emotional intelligence and stability, young men that grew up without healthy male role models can have a neutral standing point from which they can wrestle with the different ideas of masculinity found in modern society. This ensures that they are able to approach the question of what a good man looks like from a position of stability and not vulnerability, allowing them the privilege of accurately assessing the intentions and validity of the multitude of voices surrounding them. It also better equips them to navigate the complexities of modern life, build meaningful relationships, and achieve personal and professional success. Another avenue where progress may be found is educational reform. Schools can incorporate curricula that go beyond traditional academic subjects to include life skills, emotional intelligence, and practical vocational training. This holistic approach can better prepare young men for the diverse challenges of modern life. By teaching emotional literacy, conflict resolution, and social skills, schools can equip young men with the tools they need to manage their emotions, understand others, and build healthy relationships. Practical vocational training can also provide pathways to stable employment, helping to address economic disenfranchisement. In tandem with educational programs, establishing mentorship programs that connect young men with positive male role models can provide invaluable guidance and support. Mentors can offer insights into balancing strength and vulnerability, pursuing meaningful goals, and dealing with setbacks. These relationships can help young men develop a healthier understanding of masculinity and build the confidence needed to navigate life's challenges. Encouraging peer mentorship programs could also be beneficial. Older students or young adults can mentor younger peers, fostering a sense of community and shared experience. This can help young men feel more connected and supported as they navigate their formative years. Increasing access to mental health resources is also crucial. Young men should feel encouraged to seek help for emotional or psychological struggles without stigma. Schools, workplaces, and communities should provide counseling services, support groups, and mental health education to create safe spaces for discussing and addressing these issues. Launching public awareness campaigns to reduce the stigma associated with mental health issues can encourage more young men to seek help. These campaigns can also promote the importance of emotional well-being and the benefits of mental health support. Encouraging young men to participate in community service and civic activities can also help them develop a sense of belonging. These activities can foster empathy, a deeper understanding of societal dynamics, and a connection to the community. By contributing to their communities, young men can build self-esteem and gain valuable life experiences. Communities should create and promote volunteer opportunities that align with the interests and skills of young men. By matching young men with meaningful projects, communities can help them build a sense of accomplishment and purpose. So in conclusion, addressing this deeply troubling problem requires a multifaceted approach that touches on a wide range of fundamental issues, such as family dynamics, educational reform, mentorship programs, and mental health support. If we can put a sincere effort towards these tasks, we can create a more conducive environment for young men to grow into healthy, whole versions of themselves that can improve their own lives and the states of the societies that they exist in. Now, one might ask the question, why bother? Why should society invest so much time, effort, and resources into trying to get young men on the right path? Well, that's a valid question. On one hand, you could argue that healthier men would result in a more satisfactory experience of life for everyone, that every step an individual takes towards self-betterment is also a step towards the collective betterment of society. But I also pose the question, we all have male friends, brothers, fathers, sons. If your willingness to do something as simple as just raising awareness on this issue could one day result in them leading a happier, healthier life, wouldn't that be worth the effort?